Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. And what we're doing around here, is, well, this is Pro Wrestling Logic, where we discuss the best and worst of pro wrestling May 9th, 2022 Raw Report. RK Bro enters the show, announces, said they couldn't be getting much of a break after last night's pay-per-view debacle. Randy Orton admitted they lost a hard-fought battle, but that's done, and they would eventually win the war. Orton mentioned Usos made the initial challenge for the unification match, but there wasn't anything on the line last night. Orton then said that he and Riddle still wanted to unify the titles. Riddle said they could be on SmackDown and would demand Reigns give them the unification match. I don't know that that's how that works. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins reminded RK Bro that they were next in line and that they wanted to be the ones to unify the titles after Ford said that they want the smoke. Riddle then told them that RK Bro 420 says that they just smoked your tail. Orton seemed to enjoy that. Orton and Riddle defeat the Street Profits to retain the Tag Team Champions 10 minutes, 10 seconds. They go to break after Ford hit a flip dive. Orton makes tag following the break. Riddle then goes to dive off the ropes, but he wipes out Orton by mistake. Maybe they're teasing a feud between the two at some point. Ford then gives Riddle a frog splash for a near fall. As Orton breaks up the cover, Ford then goes for another splash. Riddle breaks it down with the RKO. Crowd pops for this. And then we go to Kevin Patrick interviewing Theory on stage about the U.S. title defense tonight against Cody Rhodes. Theory's going to win. I can do this all day is one of his catchphrases. Theory said he's practically in diapers the last time Rhodes was in WWE. Rhodes was in the past, and Theory wasn't worried because he's the future. Judgment Day segment, Edge entered, and Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest along with him. He said he filmed the Judgment Day because they were tired of being sheep, like all of the fans listening to the people. Edge said the fans were ugly keyboard warriors, and people of Hartford were morons who couldn't understand that no one can touch them. Crowd is telling Edge that he sucks. Priest said that they were already dangerous individually, but they were something better as a collective. Ripley then joined Judgment Day with the easiest decision of her life. She said that Edge and Priest changing for the better and wanted the same. She was tired of signing autographs at the airport just to see them end up on eBay the next day. Ripley was focused on destroying Liv Morgan tonight. Edge said Ripley was being wasted in the team with Morgan. Edge basically talks until Liv Morgan's music hits and she enters. Rhea Ripley with Edge and Damian Priest defeats Liv Morgan 5:39. Morgan hits a code breaker for near fall. Ripley dodges a missile dropkick and applies a standing Texas Cloverleaf for submission win. Post match, Edge nodded at Ripley and then she reapplied the Cloverleaf. Heels pose, and basically, I mean, that's just where we are. We start the second hour. Finn Balor, AJ Styles, with AJ Styles, defeats Damian Priest with Edge. Balor sets up for a dive. Ripley stands in front of Priest, so he stops and spears Balor for the DQ. Why have guys get dressed for 5-minute matches? Anyway, Styles tackles Edge and fights off Priest. Ripley grabs Styles and then turns like he'd punch her, but he stops. He realizes who it was. Styles issues a warning. Edge spears him. Judgment Day stands tall. Then Chad Gable uses scientific terms to explain to Kevin Owens how they can expose Ezekiel Elias. Owens doesn't understand any of that. Owens said he had a guest tonight. His older brother Ken would be here to take on Elias. MVP's VIP lounge. He cuts his usual promo, and Cedric Alexander enters, making another offer to him. Bobby Lashley enters, lays out the security guards before pounding on Alexander, and puts him down with the Hurt Lock. I didn't know that they were back around. Anyway, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville have an argument backstage. Pearce tries explaining something to Deville, but she just wanted to know who her opponent was tonight. Deville enters the match after the break, and Alexa Bliss comes back, winning quickly, 40 seconds with a DDT and Twisted Bliss. Bliss did have the doll with her, but is back to regular clothing. Ken Owens defeat Ezekiel in a segment. Kevin Owens enters wearing a wig, and he's got more gray hair. Owens tells him to play along. He said nobody actually thought Ezekiel was Elias' younger brother, and everyone in the back said they believed him was just playing along. Owens rambled, and that's where that goes. Owens has had enough and attacks Ezekiel. Ezekiel fights back, and this is a complete waste of time. Pearce speaks with Asuka in the back till Becky Lynch interrupts. Lynch said Asuka didn't deserve to be handed the title and noted that she didn't even get a title rematch yet. Pearce explained Asuka wasn't being handed anything. She beat Bianca Belair to earn the title match. Lynch says beating the champ just to get a chance to beat the champ didn't make any sense. And Pearce left. Lynch continued to complain. Asuka screamed at her and makes fun of her. Veer defeats Frank Loman, 1 minute 22 seconds, wins with the $1 million clothesline and cervical clutch. Patrick is there. Patrick interviews Cody Rhodes. Rhodes puts over Seth Rollins. Top 5 wrestler in the world. That's goofy. Anyway, his chapter with Rollins is now closed. He said Theory has what he wants. Anyway, so United States Championship match. Cody Rhodes defeats Theory via disqualification. It's not like the second or third one of these on the show. Anyway, Theory's control a few minutes. Rhodes comes back with a reverse suplex and a drop kick. Theory counters the kick and clears the announce table. Rhodes fights back, and he goes on to move the table, but Theory scampers back into the ring. Theory regains control, and during the break, with a clothesline before the two men collided in the crossbody attempts, Rhodes then comes back and hits a running forearm and power slam for a 2 count. Rhodes then follows up with a moonsault for a near fall. Theory then responds with a cross-leg neckbreaker for a near fall. Rhodes then hits a disaster kick, coming right back with the Cody Cutter. Close-up camera angle. Rhodes makes it obvious that what's going to happen as far as the DQ. Rollins lays out Rhodes with a curve stomp on the announce table. The announcers said Rollins had crossed the line. Why is this crossing the line sometimes and not others? Anyway, Theory does get a decent deal in the match. But, I mean, why is he on Rhodes' level at this point? We don't really know. Anyway, non-title match for the Women's Tag Team Champions. Sasha Banks and Naomi defeat Doudrop and Nikki Ash, 4:23. Doudrop gains control of the match using her power. Nikki loses it when she takes too long to pose. This allows Naomi and Banks to knock Doudrop from the ring and hit Nikki with a double team finisher for the win. After the match, Doudrop lectures Nikki, who basically is impressed with all of this. Miz's music interrupts because he is special referee for the next match. Ciampa defeats Mustafa Ali, 5:33. Ciampa and Ali both don't get entrances, but Miz does. Miz explains that Ali thought he deserved better, which is why he named special referee for the match. Ali isn't buying that. Anyway, Miz slow counts Ali's early pinfall attempts. Ali seemed to have the match won. Miz takes way too long to count, so Ciampa kicks out. And then he argues with the Miz. Ciampa hits a reverse DDT. Miz does fast count and Ciampa wins. Miz quickly escapes the stage, and Ali looks on in disbelief. They aired Lacey Evans' video. Bobby Lashley challenges almost to a cage match next week. 14 minutes left in the show. The main event match is still to come. A backstage segment with the 24/7 junk. They show pictures of Bianca Belair and Montez Ford at the Kentucky Derby over the weekend. Entrances, and there's 5 minutes. Non-title match, women's champion Bianca Belair defeats Asuka, disqualification, 3 minutes, 1 second. That's your main event. Anyway, Asuka counters KOD into an armbar before Belair hoists her up and power bombs. Lynch then attacks Belair for the third DQ of the evening. Lynch then attacks Asuka, and that's the close of Raw. Why do people watch this show 30 years later? No one knows. Probably because they've been trained to. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.